Dashcam.
In this first video, the dashcam footage from a truck caught the exact moment an ambush took place. The video clearly shows as multiple people alongside the highway use an improvised roadblock made of tree branches to force drivers to stop. The people responsible were multiple illegal immigrants angered by a recent demolition of a makeshift camp they had set up. As soon as the truck stopped, they would climb the guardrail and throw multiple sticks, rocks, and even lumps of concrete at the driver. Luckily,
scary.
the driver would make it past the roadblock, though he would claim that in the moment he feared for his life,
trunks
and
aren't even that
unfortunately
big. If
he
I
would
saw
receive multiple wounds
a
from
bunch of
items
people
thrown through the
kinda surrounding
windshield
the truck, I
that would
would've just
ultimately
floored
require
him.
him to seek medical attention.
That's scary. Imagine that happening, like you have like a baby in the truck with you, and even if you're by yourself, like, you know, if they had guns or something, like it could have been a lot worse than it was. That person's lucky to get out of there, but right away I would have just floored it because those trees didn't
This
look
footage
that
takes
big.
place at 1:30 a.m. on a Sunday, and it features dashcam footage of a car traveling along a quiet stretch of road in the country. As the car approaches an intersection, a hooded man can be seen standing with his head bowed in the middle of the road. As the car gets closer, the man can be seen attempting to walk in front of it, forcing the driver to stop. And that's when the man can be heard screaming as he lunges towards the car, which of course would force the driver to step on the gas and get out of there.
Hell yeah. Looks like it's like 1 a.m. You see somebody standing outside in front of you while you're driving with a hood on. Just standing there. Nope, right there. I would have just bloop, drove right around his eyes.
The driver claims that after the encounter, he would frantically try to call and warn his wife, who was traveling on the same road about a minute behind him. Unfortunately, he wasn't quick enough, which would cause his wife to experience the exact same encounter. To this day, the couple claims they were unsure of whether the man was trying to rob them, take their cars, or hurt them in some way or another.
I know, right? You don't even know his intention.
This next
That's
footage takes
creepy.
place on a dark and isolated road. It starts out with nothing out of the ordinary, when, just as the car rounds a bend, an out-of-place figure wearing a suit with a briefcase and an umbrella comes into frame. And directly after, another identical man can be seen. The men would retreat into the long grass, where suddenly it's clear there are multiple men looking identical to each other.
Nope. Cult.
They seem to have been startled by the vehicle, as if they had been caught. When suddenly, further down the road, yet another figure can be seen, this one holding a flare. It's still unclear what happened next, or what the driver truly witnessed that night. Though, many
looks
believe
like
the
some sort of
driver had
cult,
drove
right?
right in the middle of a cult, taking part in a ritual of some sort.
Imagine seeing that, though. That's insane. It's like straight out of a horror movie. The crazy thing, though, is like, I'd want to ask one of them, like, what are you guys doing?
In this video, you can see the dashcam footage of a parked vehicle in the middle of an October day in 2014. From the audio, it's clear someone is inside the car, as you can hear the window roll down, followed by the driver saying how creepy something is. And that's when you realize what the driver is talking about, as you can see a man wearing a disturbing looking mask walk around the vehicle. According to the driver, there were 5 others with the same mask on not visible from the dashcam. Though, even still, it's clear the driver thinks it's a joke, as you can hear her laughing. But that's when the masked men break one of the car's windows and proceed to rob the driver of all her valuables. The whole while,
can't think
horrifying
that's
screams
funny.
from the driver can be heard.
Crazy ass people out there, man. You gotta expect something like that.
So creepy. Where'd you get it? Where did you get them? Come here. Where did you get it? Come on. Get out of the car.
Oh shoot. What the heck was that guy that just went into that store? Was he part of it? Because he's just walking all nonchalant.
This
like
footage was taken in the
happened.
middle of the night in a desolate field located in Saudi Arabia. Almost right away, you can see as the driver is slowly approaching a white figure that looks to be holding a cane off in the distance. As the footage progresses, the white figure starts limping towards the vehicle, and after a few seconds, the driver can be heard panicking. After a while longer, the figure continues to move towards the driver, and now obviously terrified, the driver can be heard yelling commands at the figure that can basically be translated to back up and get away from my car. Near the end of the video, the figure can be heard making a shrieking noise directed at the driver.
Nope.
The video itself is no
I'm
doubt
out of
disturbing, and it's still unclear what the driver had actually caught on video that night.
That's so creepy. It's crazy. You never know what's out there. Be somebody drunk as hell or something straight out of a freaking paranormal movie. Or somebody possessed. Who knows? Oh, it looks like it's running too.
This footage comes from a police cruiser's dash cam.
Could have been a
And
prank
in the
too,
footage,
but
you can
never
see as
know.
3 officers are attempting to assist the owners of a car that had broken down on the side of the road. Though, as the footage progresses, the officers look behind them as if to react to a noise. And that's when all of them desperately try to get out of the way of a car coming straight towards them at an extremely high speed. The car would barely miss the officers and come to a screeching halt further down the road. The driver of the vehicle was discovered to be intoxicated 26-year-old Cedric Keith Henson Jr. Though the parked vehicles would receive serious damage, luckily no one was
Cops are
hurt.
lucky. Yeah, that's why I don't trust being on the side of the road like that. You never know who's driving by. Especially, look at that. No, that would have took you right out. And whether you're on a highway or a street, I just think you shouldn't have your back turned to oncoming traffic.
Back in 2016, a sort of killer clown phase would shake Americans for a few months. It basically consisted of multiple people dressing up in clown costumes. For many, the motive was simply to scare people, though others would actually rob and even kidnap people. And during that time, in 2016, a family would drive home in South Yorkshire late at night when their dashcam would capture a clown step out in front of their vehicle. The clown would proceed to just stand there and wave, until after a few seconds, the clown would sprint towards the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle would desperately go in reverse, until finally going back in drive, forcing the clown to get out of the way.
People out there are nuts, man. What's crazy too, these people, like, even if they're trying to be funny or do a prank or something like that, you know, if somebody's scared enough, they'll retaliate, and then who knows, pull out a gun, and you know, if it is a joke, it's not funny, especially if you're doing it in the middle of the night.
This video shows the dashcam footage of a police cruiser located in Texas. In the video, you can see as the car in front of the police cruiser suddenly swerves and brakes in an attempt to avoid an object on the road. As the cruiser gets closer, it's revealed that the object is a woman lying passed out on the road. Luckily, Sergeant Scott would stop to help the woman by waking her up and getting her on her feet. The woman was overall suspected of having been intoxicated when she ran her car into a nearby ditch and walked back up the road just to pass out moments later. What's terrifying is just how many times she had been almost ran over prior to Sergeant Scott stopping to help her.
Right? Angel was with her that day. Someone could have easily just ran her over, like looking at their phone or something, and just boop, thinking they hit a freaking raccoon or something. It's crazy the footage that people get like that. Like, I never see anything crazy like that, but it's just shit that happens out there. It's nuts.